They won. But more importantly, I don't have to eat a chocolate cupcake covered in mustard again. You know, you didn't have to do it the first time. Like, it's your channel. Let's go! Good. We all feel Stop! Good. Never gets rusty. What am I doing? Into my kitchen. Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory puppies, Iggy! Whoever on Washington staff called for that review owes that Dodgers fan a hat. You know, they're having a tough day, but it's about time. That's more like it! Leafs win 7-3 over the Washington Capitals. All right, we're at that time of year. It's that weird area between the trade deadline and the end of the season, leading into the playoffs. The games still matter. They super matter. Just ask the Capitals. But there's no, like, milestone. There's no finish line. There's a finish line if you have no intention of making the playoffs. I guess if you're the Capitals, there's sort of a finish line in that you need to just get in. But the next milestone isn't really the finish line. It's the starting line of the playoffs. And if you don't make the playoffs, it's not that you didn't make it to the finish line, it's that you didn't make it to the starting line. Does that make sense? I don't have a food-related analogy for this one, and I'm not. Sheldon, don't make me. Shut up! All right, so for those of you who don't know, let me fill you in on what happened yesterday in yesterday's LFR. Riley and Brody were paired together. It was pretty bad. I talked about how I like both players individually. Riley is sort of your classic offensive defenseman. I likened him to a chocolate cupcake. And TJ Brody. Not as popular, but some people really like him. That's mustard in a nutshell. The analogy that I made is the Leafs insist on putting mustard on a chocolate cupcake and then eating it and wondering why it tastes bad, and I actually did it. And I did it twice. You should have seen producer Drew realize what I was doing in real time over text. The first text is like, those two things don't go together. The next text is, oh, that's the point! And I saw a bunch of comments like, Steve, you did it the one time, why did you have to do it again? To which I screamed at the comment section, that was the point I was trying to make, they keep doing it! So, before this game, Sheldon Keefe announces TJ Brody is a healthy scratch, his first time as a Maple Leaf. Here's the quote from Mark Masters, Sheldon Keefe on TJ Brody being a scratch tonight. Broads know he hasn't been at his best this season here for most of the season, yet he's taken on a lot for us. Hardest matchups every single night, and it's been a lot. A chance for us to give him a night off. So listen, he's not wrong. TJ Brody hasn't been great this season, and there's a variety of reasons for that. Some of them are personal. It's extraordinarily understandable, and players struggle, man. One thing Brad Treliving prioritized ahead of the deadline is getting guys in the lineup and adding an abundance of defensemen. Mark Giordano got hurt, which necessitated getting Ilya Lyubushkin, and then Ilya Lyubushkin got hurt, and they go out and they get Joel Edmondson, and Connor Timmins got mono in the middle of all that. Simone Benoit has been healthy scratched, and you go, why'd they healthy scratch Simone Benoit? And then he does stuff like he did in this game, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe. Also, he like blocks shots with his face multiple times a game, and you're like, maybe he doesn't need to play every night. This is a team with the luxury of being able to rotate guys a little bit. But what got me hot and bothered about TJ Brody was I looked at his numbers. Sheldon Keefe's right. He didn't use these words exactly, but the Leafs have been grossly overusing the guy all season for a guy who's struggling. So after looking at some of the numbers, here's what I said. What Keefe said is right, which makes the decision to wait until game 68 more mystifying. Brody is second on the Leafs in average ice time, over 1 minute ahead of McCabe, I made a spelling mistake, and hasn't played under 20 minutes in exactly 2 months. That's not acceptable. And some of the feedback that I got for that tweet is, well, then who do you put in that spot? Lyubushkin's out. Who do you put there? And it's a good question, and I'd like to answer that with Jake McCabe! What they did tonight! He's been good basically all season. He's been good on the right side, like better than I thought he could play. And then I saw some others say, you wouldn't like whoever was put in that spot. Here's the thing. You might be right, but also we don't know that because they wouldn't try other stuff. What did Benoit get, like a 1-game, 2-game tryout? Anyway, that was the story heading into this one, along with it's Auston Matthews taking on Alex Ovechkin. Now, a few weeks ago, if we had talked ad nauseum about Auston Matthews approaching 70 and Alex Ovechkin, the story would have kind of sucked. It would have been a very one-sided Toronto thing, on account of Ovechkin wasn't scoring. But then, as Carolyn Cameron laid out on the broadcast, Ovechkin has, I think it's 15 goals in his last 22 games. When will we learn? Perhaps never. And hilariously, right off the hop, Matthews is the one who opens the scoring 16 seconds in, a night after the Leafs surrender a goal 21 seconds into the Flyers. Max Domi, we were talking about it today on the podcast. Will he or won't he succeed in that role? He sets up Matthews streak into the net first thing in the game. Leafs have a 1-0 lead, and that was the only goal of the period. The one little subplot of that period is Tyler Bertuzzi was, benched for the first 8 some odd minutes, which, if you want to make a point with a guy, go ahead, but why just even put him in the lineup then? Then it was Bobby McMahon who broke to reporters after the game that the reason that happened to Bertuzzi wasn't punitive. He wasn't being punished by Sheldon Keefe. He was feeling under the weather. I don't even want to know what that means. But all I can think back to is yesterday with the chocolate cupcake and mustard, and I'm like, and I'm imagining Bertuzzi on the bench for the first 8 minutes of an NHL game going, that could have been what happened, but then he ends up on the top line, and they completely burn the house down. The one other notable thing from that first period, the Capitals outshoot the Leafs 10-8, and that would be the last time in this game by a wide margin that the Capitals outshot the Leafs. After last night's just porous breakdowns against the Flyers, for the rest of the game, the Leafs locked it down and locked it down hard. And you maybe didn't notice their defensive effort as much because they kept scoring in the first minute. William Nylander just ripping the thing. One of the most deadly shots in the league is 38th of the season, and the Leafs are up 2-0 a minute into the second. Halfway through the frame, who is it? Oh, hi, it's me again. You're probably wondering if they're ever going to figure out how to stop. Oh, no, they're not. Halfway through the game, Matthew Knies takes the first penalty of the entire game, and who else makes him pay? It's Alex Ovechkin. I think the only good thing about being a penalty killer facing Alexander Ovechkin is if he scores, no one blames you. You might think that you get blamed for allowing the same goal that's happened since 2005. Literally the same goal. The only difference is their primary color isn't black anymore. That's literally it. And he used to fidget a little bit too much. And then he got older and he's like, I could just stand here. I could just stand here, stick in the air. I maybe don't even have to put my stick in the air. That feels like too much energy. And I'm going to wear hockey pants that are way too big. He looks like an arrogant beer leaguer out there, but he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. And if you're on that penalty kill unit and he scores against you, whatever. You're one of 1,000 guys he's done that to. Cap's back within 1. But then the Leafs did something that would become a theme in this game, and they would push the Capitals back down. Only a few minutes later, the Leafs are moving the puck around really well, and the Capitals are just not as strong as the Flyers were in their own end. Not in this game, anyway. Matthews gets it at the point, and he just rips the shot. Weakly, kind of? Accurately, as, there's precision there, but it's not as strong as Bomb. And you might say, oh, that's a confident shot. That's a goal scorer's goal right there. I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit. But it's mostly Tyler Bertuzzi being an absolute menace in front of the net. And also a secondary screen from the... Is that Joel Edmondson? Austin Matthews switched spots with Joel Edmondson? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That's his former team. Why? I guess the answer is why not? Bertuzzi with the excellent screen, and Matthews gets his second of the game, which was followed by his third of the game. And the hats rain down, and Matthews has his arms outstretched, and the hat is tumbling towards him, and he even follows it. Matthews in Alex Ovechkin's barn gets they call it back for offside. And here's the thing. You can't even complain about it. It was offside. But it made me go back and watch the Matt Duchene offside goal that is the reason we're in this mess. This stupid goal where he was offside by 5-10 feet and it wasn't called. By the way, I thought this goal was a lot more recently than it was. According to Scouting the Refs, this article was written, Avs Duchene scores epic offside goal May 7th, 2013? Dude, this was a week before the Leafs collapse against the Bruins? Sorry to bring that up. It comes up often. So the reason I got this article is I actually DM'd scoutingtherefs.com. They're an excellent website. Because if you look at the screen grab of Matt Duchene picking up that puck and is very offside, you see there's a linesman visible there who's definitely looking at the play. And I said, who is this linesman? Do we know who this linesman is? And apparently, yes. It's retired veteran linesman Derek ML. And I'm thinking, oh, it's his fault. But this snippet from the article is very interesting, and it explains how we got here. Because it wasn't just the linesman being stupid. I mean, they made a mistake. But I could actually sort of see how it was made. Barry Trotz said after the game, the league already verified that it should have been offside. It should have, said scoutingtherefs.com. But here's a possible reason. Absent any actual explanation from on-ice officials, that veteran linesman, Derek Amell, may have seen this one differently. Rule 83.1, offside. Players of the attacking team must not precede the puck into the attacking zone. If a player legally carries or passes the puck back into his own defending zone while a player of the opposing team is in such defending zone, the offside shall be ignored and play permitted to continue. So it wasn't that the linesman was looking at the puck in the blue line and going, huh? They thought that the Nashville Predators player had knocked the puck backwards, and Matt Duchene was like, oh, I didn't do it, it was them, so I'm just gonna take this puck. And then he scored. Is that relevant to the game tonight? No, but it's a fun little history lesson, the more you know. Anyway, getting back to this game, the Capitals make it 4-2. This is Connor McMichael. The Riley-McCabe pair is on the ice for this one. They don't look the best. Specifically, Riley doesn't look the best because he doesn't pick up McMichael. And the Capitals did get lucky on this one. It's Sandin. Hello there, Rasmus. Puts it off the end boards. It bounces fortuitously to McMichael, and he puts it in. And you could go, well, that's just unlucky. Sometimes you make your own luck, and sometimes you make your own bad luck. But again, the Leafs just won't let the Capitals back in it. Austin Matthews has the puck, and he gets it to Max Domi, who is quickly becoming Maximum Domi. He puts it on Jake McCabe with the tip. The Leafs have the 4-2 lead, but more important,
Maximum Domi has his third assist of the game!
So the Leafs take the 2-goal lead into the third. Capitals bring themselves within 1 during the third period. Who scored the goal? If you guess Ryan Strome, you'd be most people. He has the puck. He's standing right in front of Joseph Woll. Joseph Woll's like, how come you haven't shot the puck? He's a little bit too polite. But here's what I think was happening. Dylan Strome is there with a clear scoring chance. Probably would he might have scored. But I just feel like half of the Capitals spend their time with the puck going, what if Ovi is a goal shy of Gretzky and it's my fault? First of all, I don't know if you've seen the pace that he's scoring at. I don't think you're gonna have that problem. Secondly, shoot! Third, it's Ovi. You're right, pass. He waits an eternity, passes to Ovi, 23rd of the season. He might hit 30 after all that nonsense from the beginning of the year. Caps are within 1. Just over a minute later, get back! William Nylander to Bobbert McMobbert! Puts it in, that nickname's never gonna stick. He puts it in with the lovely little tap. His 11th of the season. What a great story Bobby McMahon is, and the Leafs are back up 2. And here's the thing, the Capitals keep saying, hey, we're still in this. And the Leafs top line finally said, no, you're not.
Maximum Domi
Gives it to Austin Matthews to Tyler Bertuzzi. Ew. Somehow only Bertuzzi's 15th of the season. It feels like he's scoring every other game these days. But the Leafs take a 3-goal lead, and that is Max Domi,
Maximum Domi's
4th assist of the night. Steve, Austin Matthews had 5 points. Feels like you should be making a bigger deal out of that. To that I would say, yeah, but we expect that. He had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. He didn't even get the team belt. And that was basically it. But then Matthews to pick up another point. Nylander to pick up another point. Have you in fantasy, thank you very much. Gives it to John Tavares, the nifty little backhand, and thank you, that is it. So stay for
Maximum Domi
and all the incredible performances and the high offense. But here's that defense I was talking to you about. Leafs outshot 10-8 in the first period. Meh. Leafs outshoot Washington 14-7 in the second. Yeah. Yeah, well, of course the Leafs outshot the Capitals 14-7 in the second because the Capitals took all those penalties. No, that wasn't until the third. The Capitals actually didn't take a single penalty in this game until the third period, where they took 4. If you count the Tom Wilson double minor as 2, then it's 5. And the Leafs just locked the thing down, outshooting the Capitals 7-4. Which means, by the way, Charlie Lindgren allowed 3 goals on 7 shots. Ooh. By the way, any Caps fans who are mad about that parade to the penalty box, you can't really. Ovechkin hooking against Matthew Knies, whatever, who cares? John Carlson slashing against Tyler Bertuzzi. I mean, Bertuzzi would have had a breakaway had that not happened. Too many men on the ice is too many men on the ice, and if you don't like that penalty, welcome to the club. And the Tom Wilson, a double minor for high-sticking Noah Gregor. Did you see Gregor's face? Or rather, what was left of it? Dude, I don't think Wilson meant to do it, because I've never seen Tom Wilson go, oh, are you okay? He did. Like, he felt bad, it looked like. It's a very human moment for Tom Wilson on the ice. But that dude cocked back and went, hi-ya! He one-hand slashed the heck out of that man's face. And the Capitals weren't able to get back into it, in part because of the parade to the penalty box, but also the Leafs locked her down. They did it in the second period, too. Questions. Ooh, pick an exact date Ovechkin will break Wayne's record. Okay, this is difficult, because Ovechkin is, after those 2 goals in this one, 49 goals back of Wayne Gretzky. His days of scoring 50 are, we can pretty confidently say, done We don't know for sure because of the pace that he scored at, but he's only scored at it for like a month or two. The hockey season's longer than a month or two. So he's at 23 goals this season. Let's be conservative. Let's say he ends the season with 28. That means he'll need 44. Probably not scoring 44 next year. I wouldn't put it past him, but he's probably not. Next season is the 24-25 season, so it won't be then. Let's say he gets another 20. Let's say 24. That means he needs 20 more. I got it. I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna break the record January 26th, 2026. Steve, why'd you pick that date? Well, it's, more than halfway through the NHL season. And I think, he might ramp up heading to that milestone because he usually ramps up coming up on milestones. The problem is, there's basically no other milestones but this one for him to pass. The other reason I picked January 26, 2026 is that is Wayne Gretzky's 65th birthday. Calling it right here, right now. And you know what? That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. There's lots of content, guys. Go to the SDPN YouTube channel. New episode today. There's going to be a VIP episode if you're subscribed to that on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Go to the SDPN YouTube channel and become a member there. And then we're going to do another one Friday. And they got 2 games Saturday, Sunday. And I'm going to be doing a stream on the SDPN YouTube channel on Saturday. Leafs versus Oilers. So you better be there. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I'll do it one more time.